Paul in Woodinville, Washington. Hey, Paul, what's up?
Hey, Tom. Part of this discussion of the Affordable Care Act, the people on the right are saying that the big problem is the pre-existing conditions, and that this. I'm going to refer to a guest that was on your show when you were gone a couple of weeks ago. Dr. Mike was sitting in, a guy by the name of C. Edmund Wright, and other than being so obtuse, he couldn't agree on a single premise with Dr. Mike, including the definitions of point, line, and plane. What he did point out was that he thinks that people with pre-existing conditions, there should be a public option for them. And now I've also heard other talkers, Michael Medved and Lars Larson, make the same point. Now, because they're saying that pre-existing conditions really they're not really part of the insurance model. That's just the insurance company essentially paying for one's malady. Okay, this raises some interesting questions on both sides of the coin.
Well, first of all, it's nonsense. I mean, if you look at the insurance model, life insurance, for example, is predicated on the reality that all of us eventually die. It's just how long does it take us to die? Can the insurance company get more money from us than they end up giving us?
Right.
Well, and can they invest that and make money with it? And it's not that different in the health insurance business.
Well, but let's look at. I'm taking this in a little bit different direction.
Okay.
The first thing is, we need to start with a list of pre-existing conditions that the insurance companies don't have to cover, and therefore these people go on to. So, how long does this list get, and who gets to make that list?
Right.
Because at some point, if the insurance companies don't want to cover anything that's pre-existing, well, you know this too, that as soon as you have anything more than a hangnail, you're a pre-existing condition.
Well, this is my point. Life is a pre-existing condition.
Yeah, exactly.
Life inevitably ends in death.
Sure. Who gets to make this list? But then for them to offload people. But here's the other side of the coin, Tom, is that why can't I say, hey, I have a certain pre-existing condition, and I don't want to deal with these private insurance companies. I want to be on the public option.
Right. Here's what these right-wingers are trying to do, Paul, and you have to understand, you probably already get this. They're trying to do with the healthcare system the same thing that they've done in many places with our educational system. They're trying to make the most expensive and the most problematic people put them into the public arena and have them be paid for, by tax dollars in the public venues because they're not the profitable people. And they're trying to carve out the profitable folks and put them into the hands of the for-profit industries. So that the for-profit industries maximize their profit, and the public sector becomes basically a dumping ground. That's what they're trying to do.
They get to make all the rules so that money moves towards them.
That's correct.
And yet, at the same time, they want to cut taxes. So who's going to pay for all of these people on the public option that the pre-existing conditions that they don't want to cover? They basically want to abandon society.
Yeah, and essentially they are. This is not only are we paying $6,000 a year in subsidies to big business when the amount that we pay for food stamps is $36 a year, the average person making $50,000 a year, but the ultra rich, the super rich, have taken $25 trillion in wealth since since 2000 from 2008 until today. And this is according to U.S. government revenue figures, and they've cut their tax rate in half. It's insane. It's just insane. They no longer think of themselves as Americans. They think of themselves as citizens of the world, and to a large extent, because of globalism, they are. And so, let's dump the most problematic and difficult people into a public option. This is cruel. We should have a public option for everybody. It should be competition to the health insurance companies. It should not be the ghetto into which they dump people who are sick or elderly or injured. Thank you, Paul, for the call.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 866-987-THOM.
But, maybe the right-wingers now calling for a public option for the sickest and, will cause people to start thinking about a public option, a good public option.